Hello, this is Pedro. This is our first tutoring session. We'll be working on place value and patterns using base 10 blocks and identifying the relationship among the place value positions. Okay, Pedro, I think you already did some of this. We're going to finish the rest together. So let's go over the part that you did. This says complete the comparisons below to describe the relationship from one place value position to the next place value position. The first one says look at the long and compare it to the small cube. Okay. Point to the small cube and point to the long cube. Okay, now tell me what the relationship is.
That you add 10 of the small cubes to compare to the long.
Okay, so how many small cubes are in one long cube?
10.
Long and one long. 10. Okay. Now it says look at the flat and compare it to the long. Point to the flat on your page. Okay? And the long. Okay. So a flat is worth how many?
100.
100. Very good. Okay. So here's 100. Here's a flat. We are going to take some pens to show this. Okay, put your pencil down. Thank you. Okay. Show me how.
10.
Count by what?
Tens.
10. Okay, I want to hear you count by tens.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
Okay. So how many longs go into one flat?
10.
10. Very good. Okay. So how much bigger is this flat than one of these?
Because there's
How much bigger is it? How many times bigger?
10.
10 times bigger because it takes 10
10 to equal 100.
of one of these. Very good. Okay. Good job. Now it says look at the large cube and compare it to the flat. So here we have the large cube. Okay, and compare it to the flat. How many of these go in here?
10.
10. Prove it. Prove it.
10.
Well, you don't. Okay.
100. 200.
Put them on top of each other so you can see that they're the same.
300. 400. 500. 600. 700. 800.
800. And, well, we're missing two flats. So if it was like that, you'd see that they're the same. Okay? 900 and 1,000. Okay? So how many times bigger is this than one of
100.
these?
100. 1,000.
How many? This is worth 1,000 and this is worth 100. But how many of these go in here?
10.
10. Good. So how many times bigger is this than this?
10 times bigger than this one.
Okay, good. Then one of these. Okay? So this cube is 10 times larger than the flat.
Right.
Because this one is worth how many?
10. 110.
Ah,
I'm confused.
you're
You
confused.
get you confused when you do this.
You do kind of get confused because you have to keep adding, you have to keep multiplying by 10, right? So let's go, okay, let's backtrack then. This is what?
100.
100. And this is?
1,000.
1,000. So how many of these go in here?
10.
10. Good. So how many times bigger is this than this?
10 times.
10 times bigger. You got it. You got it. Good job. Okay. Now we're going to think a little backwards. Okay? This flat cube, I'm sorry, this flat what is the relationship between the flat and the large? So we're going to think of it like this is 10 times as big as this. But
So
how
this-
many is this compared to this? Think of your fractions. Do you remember? One what? How many parts of this whole do we have? Remember that?
9,
Huh?
10.
10 parts. Okay, let's make that our denominator. I'm going to write that there. This is how many of the 10? This is how many of the 10?
10. 1.
1/10. This is 1/10. I'll be right back. Let me go get my... I think I have more. So that's, okay. So, that's 1/10.
This is 1. Then. So what's this?
How many of this is this?
1/10.
1/10. Yeah, because this is one
One.
part of the 10. Do you understand that? It's hard to think of it when you go backwards like that. When you kind of, you can understand the multiplication, but this is the division part of it. Okay? So this is 1/10 of it. Okay, now look at the long and compare it to the flat. Compare this to this. What can you tell me? How many of this
1.
is this? 1 what?
10.
1
100.
100th? This is 100th. It's 1 out of 100. This is 1 out of how many?
100.
This thing is 1 out of how many? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to hear you.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So one of these is how many?
10.
Right, it's 10 of these. But it's what? Of these, how many is this one? How many did you count?
10.
10. Because how many parts are there? Count all these parts. Count the parts.
These?
Yeah.
1, 2.
But not the cubes. Now you're counting the cubes. Count just the longs. How many longs do we have?
10.
Count them.
20.
No, I want you to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11.
Is that how
Oh,
we
no,
count?
No, 10. Because I thought that was the cube was right there.
Don't worry about anything that's over here, okay? You just worry about what's over here. Let's try that again. You seemed a little confused. I just want to know how many longs we have, okay? So tell me how many longs we have.
10.
Okay, we have 10 longs. Now out of all these longs, how many is one of these? Remember your fractions? Okay, 1 what?
10.
1/10. Because it's 10 total parts.
10.
This is one of those total parts, right? So it's how many?
1/10.
1/10. Very good. So this relationship is also 1/10. I want you to write here. The long is 1/10 of the flat. Write 1/10. Good job. Now I want you to do this one on your own. Look at the small cube and compare it to the long. So here's the small cube. How many is that of the long?
10.
There are how many? Okay, how many? Count the total parts.
11.
Okay, hold on. How many cubes are in here?
10.
10. Good. How many is one of these
1.
out of all these? Think of your fractions again.
So it's 1/10.
It's what?
1/10.
1/10. It's 1/10. This is worth 1/10
That's
of a long, right? Because it takes 10 of these to make 1. Okay, so go ahead and write that. Okay, so let's review before we move on. I want you to really understand this, okay? How many of this is this?
1/10.
1/10. You got it. Because why? Tell me why.
Okay, this is worth a 10. This is worth 1. And this one's worth a 10.
Okay. This gets confusing, doesn't it? Oh, it's so confusing. This is 10. Okay? And we're calling it a long, right? And this equals 100, and we're calling it a flat. Okay? How many of these go into here?
10.
10. So out of these 10, how many is this one?
1/10.
Very good. You get it? Are you getting it? A little better?
Yes.
A little better. Okay, that's good. I like a little better. Okay. So let's go back to this one. Out of these, how many is the 1 here?
1/10.
1/10. Because?
You need one of the ones to equal this.
Can you tell me the way I was explaining it to you?
You need
How many of these do you need to make one of these?
10.
Okay, so go ahead and tell me.
You need one of these to make this 10th.
You need 10 of these cubes, these small cubes, to make one long. So 10 of these go into 1. So it is
1/10.
1/10. Now you understand it? Are you sure? No. We can keep going. How about this one? What's the relationship between this and these?
Because this is 100, this is 1,000, so it'll be 1/10.
Yeah, this is 1/10 of this. Okay? How many times bigger is this one than this one?
You need 10 to equal this.
So how many times bigger is this than this?
1.
It's only 1 time bigger?
10.
10 times bigger. Right, because you need 10 of these to equal 1 of these. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How much bigger is this than this?
This is worth 1.
I'm
This
asking,
is worth.
listen to my question. Listen closely to my question. How many times bigger is this than this 10?
Because you need more. You need 10 to equal the flat.
You need 10 of these. So what are you saying?
You need 10 of these to equal the flat.
Okay, so this is how many times bigger than this here?
10.
10 times bigger. Good. And let's reverse. What is this of this?
1/10.
Bravo! Good job! You got it! Okay. What is one of this to this?
You need 10 to equal this.
So the flat is how much of this cube?
10.
It's 10 of this?
10 of that. 1/10.
1/10. Good job. You've got it. You're figuring it out. If I asked you how many times bigger is this